Well, when I saw that fluke Marchessault goal go in, I knew it was going to be a long night for the NHL Sniffs. It was a night to rejoice for the Gargoyles, who can sleep well, we know they don't sleep, but they can turn to stone peacefully, knowing that Andy's Wednesday NHL Sniffs were not good. But remember, there are good Gargoyles. And I mean, it's not just one blanket statement. There are like huge Gargoyles. Like this guy right here, this is a full-on Gargoyle. On a night where my picks won 5 units, this guy's ice cold. Why? Because he's an absolute donkey who parlayed everything together. And now he's going to say, no, I didn't parlay anything together. And then he just blocks me or something like that. But now you have guys like this, a very poignant, astute, and now I'm going to call you a Gargoyle because I just call every guy, even nice people are Gargoyles, just like Casper the Friendly Ghost. There are good Gargoyles. And this guy, very astute, poignant individual, said, Andy, out of curiosity, why did you give us the Celebrini-Eklund combo? I thought you want to see the guys correlated on the same line and the same power play. I'm pretty sure Eklund is on the second power play, to which I responded, what do you mean? Did you see the game-winning goal? Eklund, he scored on that top power play with him. But then I remembered, wait a minute. Eklund was on that top power play because Granlund missed a game or two. And now that Granlund was back, then Eklund actually returned to the second power play, which means the correct combination for 2 nights ago when I won and came in, shaking a shoulder, loving life yesterday, was actually incorrect. The plus 230 we hit was incorrect. I'm going to be the first to tell you because I'd rather tell you that and you not make the mistakes. If I gave out the combo that was appropriate, it would have been Eklund and Zetterlund, who are on the top line and the second power play together. I wouldn't pair Celebrini, but as Josh likes to call these, the mistake line mate parlays, which also can hit. It's not like if you click the wrong buttons, it's impossible. They still obviously are on the top power play, and I'll add a little caveat for the guys like Claude Giroux, and now we know about Eklund. Guys who are used on 4-on-3s and 5-on-3s. Like Claude Giroux, he's not on Ottawa's top power play, but he is on the 4-on-3s and 5-on-3s, as he should be because he's an unbelievable passer. And we saw that with Eklund in that overtime. He obviously scored the game winner. So very astute. That means you guys are learning, even all of you Casper the Friendly Gargoyles. So with that said, let's go on to Thursday. And maybe I should just start with the same kind of thing. I'll just get it out of the way because I have a way to bump up the under 6.5 in the only game I actually like for an under 6.5 tonight, and that is the St. Louis Blues and the Calgary Flames. Calgary's coming off that shutout of the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now you have a team in St. Louis who's going in there. They still don't have Buchnevich, so they have to win lower scoring games. We saw them pretty much shut out Winnipeg in Winnipeg for the majority of that game. That's kind of how St. Louis does it in many of their games. Many of their games stay lower scoring because that's their best chance of winning. So you have 2 teams like that going up against each other. They're obviously going to list the line at 5.5. And by the way, if you guys are paying attention, it is crazy how many 5.5s that you're seeing, like we're in the middle of playoffs or something. If you remember last year, it was so rare to see regular season 5.5s, but so many games are staying under and staying low scoring that we're seeing a whole plethora of them. And obviously those are the ones I tend to like, as I did yesterday with Dallas and as I did the day before that. This time around, it's the Blues and the Flames. So I want that under 6.5, and I got 2 separate juicers for you. 2 separate juicers. So let's say you are going to bet $10 on what I'm about to say. Split it up. 5 and 5. I know some of you said, Andy, but you have to keep giving some pizzeria picks. I can't play most of these things you put out there. All right, so then let me try to divvy it up. If you do have access to the ones I've been giving out, what I want to do is the under 6.5 in that game. And just like these last 2 nights where I tried to isolate an individual player, it worked 2 nights ago. Then Warren Fogle decided to have a career night. He was Wayne Gretzky out there playing for the Kings. This time I'm going to go with Connor Zary playing on that third line. He doesn't really have any dynamic line mates, so I'm trying to isolate him. Look, they split their power plays up, so I'm not overly concerned about that. But I'm going to go under 6.5 goals and the under 0.5 point for Connor Zary. And then also Give me the under 6.5. You can do this one on Caesars, and the over 2.5 shots on goal for Jordan Kyrou, who ever since he's been taken off that Thomas Buchnevich line, he's become the alpha shooter on line 2. I believe he had 7 shots in the last game, 3 or 4 in the game before that. I'm looking him to continue his shooting ways. So under 6.5 with the over 2.5 shots on goal. That's over plus 200. And that, I think, is a pretty decent sniff on the one under I like on the night. But I know all you people, you like overs. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter that you're seeing 5.5s listed because so many unders are hitting. You need to see those overs. So I'm going to go with a classic. The Colorado Avalanche, who it hasn't worked out for us every single time. This doesn't actually have to do with the Avalanche. This has to do with the Carolina Hurricanes, who they can't keep pucks out of their net currently because they're not getting great goaltending. And since they're not getting great goaltending, they really have to press offensively. Even the Kraken were able to score 4 in their building. So this is a game in Carolina after Colorado just ripped off 5 straight goals against Buffalo to win that game. So they're coming in with momentum. You got Carolina, who I think they've lost 3 in a row now, with the most recent one being to Seattle. So, you know, they're probably going to be hungry for a win. This should be a pretty exciting game. So I'm looking at that over 6.5. I saw it minus 105. I think that's a good value in a game where neither team is getting good goaltending. They're both currently conceding. They both have good power plays, and Nathan MacKinnon is starting to get hot. We know those guys in Carolina. They've been scoring all season. So I like the over 6.5. But as I told you yesterday, if you do have the ability to take point props and to combine things, why am I going to take a minus 105? So this game's going to have 7 goals to win that at minus 105. Okay, how about this? How about I bet you, what are the odds that goes to over 6.5 and the top line has nothing from Carolina? It has 0. Because if you really think that's the case, then bet them all for unders. Because I'm going to go with Sebastian Aho and Aho Svechnikov, who have been reunited. They're back together on the top line. And the good thing about it was after a few games on that second line, 2 out of the last 3 games, Svechnikov has been held pointless. So what does that do? That brings his price down to minus 160. Why do we love that? Because when you combine him with Aho, now you get plus 110. So give me plus 110 for Sebastian Aho and Andrei Svechnikov against the Colorado Avalanche. Fantastic bet right there, along with Nathan MacKinnon over 1.5 points. That's a fantastic price, especially when compared to the other ones. I mean, I really don't have to sell this too much, but what I'm looking at here is Nathan MacKinnon. He went on a little mini snide there, and then he just ripped off, I think, 4 or 5 points in the last 2 games. And when guys like MacKinnon get going, and you're getting them at that price because they struggled for a little bit, there are only so many games where you get somebody like Nathan MacKinnon. And normally, I wouldn't look for something like this against the Canes. But what's going on with Carolina right now, look how many goals they've given up in the last couple of games. And I know Kochetkov came back, but he played last game, and they conceded to, not a great offense in the Seattle Kraken. So give me the over 1.5 points for Nathan MacKinnon. There's a lot of great stuff in that game. How about this? How about, if you don't like any of that, on Draftkings, both teams to score 2+. You remember this oldie but a goodie? And then you might be surprised with the second team that I want to use on this slate, or the second game. So both teams to score 2+ there. And then both teams to score 2+ in the Philadelphia Flyers Florida Panthers game. But Andy, why? What gives? I need you to go look at the splits between when Florida plays a playoff team versus a non-playoff team. When they play a team who could potentially be a playoff opponent at some point, or teams who missed the playoffs last year, like last game against Pittsburgh, and they find themselves down 4-1 early in the game. They have a bad record against bad teams, and they have nearly an unblemished record against good teams. Think about the back-to-back against Carolina. They beat them twice. Think about the back-to-back against Dallas. They beat them twice. They beat the Rangers. They beat so many good teams, but, they have a hard time getting it up for that 4 at the bar, and that's what they're playing. Philly, I mean, if you've ever been there, one of my own friends told me, I'm a Philly 6, Philly 7. like a New York 2. That's what you're dealing with when trying to get it up for the Philadelphia Flyers when you're the defending Stanley Cup champions. I guess time will tell, but I'm just looking for both teams to score 2+ in that game, as well as the Colorado Avalanche game. That'll be a plus money bet right there. And for all you pizzeria people, look, there definitely is upset alert, but what I like in this game, over 2.5 goals for the Philadelphia Flyers. The Panthers aren't getting great goaltending. You see Bobrovsky, he's been struggling. I don't know if he's going to be back for this game because I think he had another kid, and nowadays, you know, you're allowed to leave for like the maternity, paternity leave. I don't know, but he wasn't around last game. They recalled another goalie. We might get another Spencer Knight game, but whatever the case is, I think at home, the Flyers, who they can't get it up for over there in Florida, should be able to slip 2.5 past the goalie. Give me the over 2.5 for the Philadelphia Flyers. And then I'll end with what I started with a couple days ago when I brought Aaron Ekblad to your attention. He went from plus 125, now we're at plus 105. You only get so long to enjoy that window. And I'm going to bring up 2 power play 1 defensemen that have a good shot at registering a point, in my opinion. The first, although I don't like the opponent, you play Nashville, these games become increasingly crusty because they can't score a lot, so Nashville tries to win these grimy, low-scoring games. But I'm looking at L.Hutson, who was given power play 1 duties in the last game. When you add Line A to that power play, and he scored in that, and what did he do? He got the free assist from L.Hutson. Just move it over to your left the same way Ekblad moves it over to his left or moves it over to his right. You get free points on the power play. And we're seeing plus 128 for L.Hutson. It's a good value. If they get on that power play, if Line A's ripping a one-timer, it's coming from Hudson, and he obviously has some offensive ability as well, now that they got kind of a renewed power play there. I mean, even Slavkovsky, I saw, has a great price for this game. He's still on that top power play, and he's playing on that second line with Line A, which is another line combination, but it's not one that I want to say is one of my favorite for this video because, like I said, Nashville plays in some of these crusty games, just like yesterday, where it was 1-0 going into the third period. And then another one, we just talked about that San Jose power play that probably won't have Eklund on the top unit, but the power play 1 defenseman. How about, does he have 20 points so far this year? Jake Walman, plus 128 for a point, plus 130 for a point, as the power play 1 defenseman on a team that, look, they only scored 2 goals to win that last game. But look how many they scored in the games before that. Are they on a 3-game win streak? I don't know, but I'm feeling good about these Sharks because every game you bet on anything Sharks related, the prices are incredible nearly across the board. And it's not like Chicago where we feel like, oh my, are they going to be able to score 2 tonight? I don't know about you, but I have some confidence in these San Jose Sharks. They've treated us well so far this year. Hopefully, they continue to treat us well going into 2025. That's what I have for you on this Thursday. Good luck to you. Better luck to me. Make sure you are subscribed here to my YouTube channel. It's very much appreciated. Even if last night was your first night, like, oh my God, this guy lost. There's an initiation period. You come here, you found my video yesterday, you got to lose the first night.
Life sucks, and then you die.
Also, if you would be so kind, subscribe, click the notifications.
Oh, yes.
Enjoy your time on Gargoyle Patrol. I really got a laugh when my friend sent me that. He got a laugh as well. And obviously, what would be the best is if you guys want to join the Patreon, which is where I post the line comment. Remember, it was up 40 units. So you put 100 on every single one last week, you're up $4,000. I mean, it's been a great season. I got to do the full calculations, but I mean, it's got to be up 50 or 60 since we started doing this in October. It goes on runs. Last night, big loot. Last night was bad for line combos, bad for me, bad for Miss Lippy too. But that's where I will post that stuff over on the Patreon. That's where there's chat threads, not just NHL too. People are talking about basketball on a nightly basis. I just kind of refuse to. I don't know a single thing that's happened in the NBA. I can't tell you who's on Memphis. I can't name a single player. But what I can tell you is that this video is over. So hopefully I will see you on the Patreon in that basketball room, even though I won't be in it. If not, I will see you tomorrow for another round of NHL Sniffs. And I got a Dave and a Dan coming for you. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Take it easy. I will talk to you tomorrow.